This is a quick little video on how to swap the boot out of one of our lights. The tool you'll need is a little dental pick like this. You'll need to just be really careful when you do it so that as you're pulling the O-ring out, you don't puncture the boot with the sharp tip here. So what I like to do is carefully go in where the screws are, where the screw hole is. See that? And use that as a spot to start. And then just gently pick under at the O-ring. And then once it's started, you can pull the O-ring itself out. Take the boot out that you want to switch out. If it's not punctured, save it for later. And then if you're swapping for another color, for example, then you take your other O-ring and you set it back in. You'll notice there's another green O-ring here that sits on top of the switch. I added those in so that when the boot sits, it's really nicely centered and isn't mushy and moving around. These are the Prometheus boots, and I clip the nipple off very carefully. I've got a flush cutters that I use to clip there's a little nipple in there when we get them. So then you put the replacement boot in, right in place. And then actually while this is out, you'll notice there's a little channel that we machine in here for the O-ring to sit in. Let's see if we can get that. It's right there. So when you put the boot back in, put it in place, kind of wiggle it down, test your light, make sure it's working. Then just slowly, carefully, just with your fingers and your fingernail, work the O-ring back in place all the way around. Make sure it's fully seated. Test the light, and there you go. The key really is to have a pick and be very careful and not nick the boot here or puncture it. If you're going to throw it away, then maybe it doesn't matter, but if you want to save it, then it will matter. And then you boot in just like that. Thanks so much.